move here. Well, as the time clearly states, it is, well, my time zone right now, it is 4, what is it, 4, no, wait. Is it 3, 4, or is it, yeah, it's 3:42, I think. Let me double check that. Yeah, it's 3:42. And for people that are all the way in the UK or in California, if you're weird, in the big old banana state, that is 2 hours behind, which means it's probably 1 o'clock, 1:50, 1:42 right now. And if you are the other time, and you're very far back, why the frick frack are you watching this stream? Go do something else that's more important than what's this. So, hello everybody, my name is the Cake Zombie Plus, and welcome to the stream I've been promising for about a month. A lot of things have happened in between streams, but I can assure you that I've been trying my very best to get this stream to happen, mostly because complications with life and other stuff like that. But you know what? We're here. Here's the whiteboard. Here's my room. Here's me. And here's everything else. So we are just gonna get right into it. But first, I'm gonna change the stream around, post in real time. So you can all just sit tight for a second. Wait. No. Oh. So the footage right now looks backwards for me, but for you guys, it's completely fine. That's actually kind of cool that they fixed that, because the last stream, it was not backwards for me, but it was backwards for you, so it was backwards. But you know what? We're good. We're good now. Alright, stream manager. Got it. So I got a second monitor here so I can see my stream in stuff. Monitor my stream and not having to funk around with the camera. Like so. It's like so I can look at the chat and stuff and, mess with my stream. Okay, let's see here. No one's in the chat right now. That's kind of sad, but I have one viewer who is... I can't see the viewers, but that's okay. Thank you for coming. You don't really see anything right now, but don't worry. You will start seeing something eventually. The whiteboard's a little messy right now, but that's okay. I had to erase some stuff on it. We will do what we can, as we say in France. Okay, let's see here. Just gonna... change the category to Sky Children of the Light. And it's a good thing that this phone takes 5 million years to function. Wonderful thing, wonderful thing. That's not a wonderful thing. I need a new monitor. But you know what? It functions. So I'm going to put this to the side so I can look at my chat while the stream is going. Put that there. Cool. Okay. So, you have all come here for one reason and one reason only, to hear a complete and normal Sky timeline from the beginning to a semi sort of end. And currently, as of right now, the Sky storyline is still going on currently. There is no end yet. Although it seems like there's an end, there isn't. There is no conclusion. And I will tell you why via this video. What I've noticed in the first timeline video is I seem to repeat things over and over again. It seems like I'm thinking so far ahead that I just keep repeating the same thought until I move on to the next thing. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say the same thing twice this time, so I can hear it and you can hear it, so we can all coherently hear the same thing without having to lose our minds. Or is that just going to make us lose our minds faster? Who knows? Oh yeah, and for my stream snack, I got a bottle of Gatorade so I stay hydrated. Or die. Probably black. Plate of cookies. Some weird. Alright. Begin. We begin our timeline, alright? Are doing the exact same thing as last time, alright? Following the same timeline. But first, before we get to the timeline, we have to think about the darkness, alright? See, there's two coherent sides in the sky that I notice. There's the light, you know, light beings, like mantas and sky children and butterflies and birds. All the things that are glowing in sky. You've seen it while playing the game, right? We've all seen it. All these animals and stuff. They all are glowing. When we interact with them, they either chirp at us or they allow us to float along with them. They seem to be radiating some kind of glow, or they are, I don't know, shiny. They're white or something. I don't know. That is the light creatures. All right. That's our first side. All right. So let's write this part down. So light creatures. Got it. All right. So two sides first. There's the light. Okay. And then there's the dark. We have to talk about those two. Can you all, is this backwards for you? Because it's backwards for me, but I don't know if it's backwards for you guys. So there are two sides, right? There's the light, you know, light creatures. We've all seen it in sky. There's us, the mantas, butterflies, birds, some fish, the fish with the new updates, even the dead mantas in the Vault of Knowledge. Those still count as light creatures because they are still picking us up and allowing us to float. Those still count. Dark creatures. That's easy. The dark crabs, the krills, the gigantic king krill, you know, in Season of Abyss. There's, apparently, there's a few other, like the dark rain that comes from the sky. I don't even think that counts as a creature, but I'm going with it. Those gigantic cloud-like worm things that are in the fire trial. What else? You know what I'm talking about, right? You can easily depict light from dark in this game. Light from dark. We know we get the concept of that. And with that in mind, we can kind of piece together where this timeline sort of goes, all right? So, if you look, now you see I've been scouring Sky for cave drawings, all right? Whatever this ancient people left behind, they've left behind drawings. Lots and lots of drawings. Because apparently these guys didn't know how to write books. They did know how to store things in jars. That was one thing they did know how to do. But the one thing they didn't know how to do was write books. So here's where our timeline starts. Based on cave paintings and spirits and thousands of hours upon quests and stuff. Here we go. Our first thing. Our first instance. One day, on a colorless planet. A planet with people that have no emotions. These humanoid figures have no color. They are just grayed out. One day, a gigantic ball of light appears in the sky and starts raining down light from the sky and landing it on the ground. What is this big ball of light, you may ask? I'm guessing it's the sun. I'm guessing this world had no sun, and suddenly it popped out of thin air. How it did that, I don't know. But a sun came out of nowhere, and bits of it started raining down from the sky and landing on the ground. That's what that is. That's the sun in this situation. A gigantic star. Now these people were pretty smart. Because what they did, these humanoid figures, I'm not calling them humans, because there's been no evidence in any of these cave paintings or anywhere that said anything about them being human. There's been no of them getting. There's been like a few of them dying in some of the spirit trials or whatever, but there's never been any sort of human anything. So okay, so yeah, we got a bunch of humans. They're chilling, right? They're looking at this gigantic ball in the sky, and they're thinking, "Huh, it's raining down a bunch of these pieces of light. Let's try and turn this into something. Because now that their world is full of life, why not take some of that life and make it into something of their own thing?" So what they did, well, they started getting crafty. They first started taking the light and sort of molding it into jars, like these really big looking jars. All right. See, the jars had like the symbol on it, and they started storing butterflies in these things. Now, when I first made this timeline, I had no idea why they did that, but these were important because these butterflies seem to hold light, so they could technically bring gigantic sources of light wherever the frick frack they went. So it was like batteries, I guess. Another thing they did was they made lanterns. Another cool thing they made lanterns. Because even though they are light beings and they are technically glowing, they aren't really glowing that much. So a world of darkness does need a bit of light in the night sky, because I'm guessing night still did happen. So bam, lanterns. Pretty good, pretty good. But the coolest thing they did make, all right? Now these people, they used to be able to just travel everywhere on foot. That was dumb. So they decided, what's this? Oh, my man put some acrylic in the chat. All right, cool. Thank you for that random emote person. Anyway, so these people, they used to be travel everyone on foot, right? They had nothing. But with this light, with this new source of energy, they made, for some reason, they made flying boats. They made boats that could just fly. They made airships. They made cruise ships. They made ski. Remember that thing in like the Village of Dreams, like the ski lift? They made that. They used the light to make stuff like that. Which honestly, in my last timeline, I thought was all this stuff was useless, but now I'm thinking about it. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, they're on the right. They were actually doing good. So this society is going good, right? This society is thriving. They're harvesting all this light. They're making all these cool inventions. What are they gonna do next? They're like making a whole society now. They have villages and stuff like that. What's happening now? Well, now they make an invention that's so powerful, so innovative, that it changes the course of their society forever. They create a pair of wings that allows them to soar through the sky. They used to be able to just flap on the ground and use their little boats in order to go around. But now they can take to the skies and fly as high as they want, using their own light from their bodies to go wherever they please. But some of them didn't really like that idea. Some of them actually still like the boat idea for some reason. I guess people like being pirates more than just being gigantic wingsuit boys. So some people did accept the cool gift of the wings, and some didn't. Some of them even did get the wings, but didn't actually use them as wings. Just use them as cool cloaks, which honestly, good for you. Some of them do just kind of look like cloaks. Anywho, so society made a bunch of cool stuff. I mean, wow. They're doing great. What could possibly go wrong? Spoiler alert, things go very wrong because, you see, when they harvested all of this light, eventually it started creating some dark spots in the sky. And from those dark spots, from these voids of nothing, crafted a being of complete darkness. And this being being born from darkness, it did not want to be created. It saw itself and said, man, I was so happy not existing, and now these idiots just brought me into existence. And this creature of mass destruction, let's call it this being, this gigantic, monstrous worm of mass destruction. Let's call it the Krill. Why is it called the Krill? Because it looks like a krill. I don't really know how to put it. It just looks like a krill. The Krill was created from the darkness, and this krill, well, man, it really hated its creators. It hated its creators so much that if it just saw them in its line of sight, it would just dive right into it. No matter if it hit a wall, no matter if it hit a door, no matter if there's a gigantic spike just sticking out of it, it would just dive right into it, no matter what. And there was more of them. There were so many more. There were things coming out of the ocean. There were krills coming out of the sky. There were krills coming out of your ass. It was nuts. Until the people of this society said, you know what? We are not built for war. We need some help. So they elected leaders to attack these krills. They wanted these krills gone. So they decided to go to war against him, but they needed some sort of leaders. They needed some sort of higher power. So they looked upon their a menagerie of light beings and said, "Hey, hey, you, tall guy, you're a leader now because you're taller than the rest of us." And so, on that day, 6 leaders that were very tall were elected. One really old dude that was very tall. One really fat dude that was very tall. One crazed, I don't know, blacksmith guy with very spiky hair. A conjoined twin, I guess. They kind of looked like a tree. What was the other one? A really buff guy, which I would describe as a square, and another really old dude. But he wasn't like the first old dude. He was cool because he had a staff. And so the 6 elected leaders were made to fight against the Krill. And what was their first decision? Well, first, they elected the strongest of the people and brought them together into an army, gave them some swords, gave them some shields, and says, "All right, go get them," with the full intention of knowing that the Krills would wipe them out. So, you're probably looking at me like, wait a minute. Are you telling me that the elders sold out the soldiers? Yes, I am telling you that the elders sold out the soldiers. You want to know why? Because the elders don't care about us. They don't care about anybody. They just want to keep all of the light to themselves. When you resurrect the elders, what do you find them as? You find them as these broken, lightless beings that are just chilling in the afterlife. You give them a little bit of life, and they're like, "All right, I'm helping you out. Go that way." But they all seem to be pointing in one direction. Isn't that strange? How you always call, and there's always an elder telling you to go in one direction? Kind of weird, huh? Well, I'm about to tell you why your objective is to go in one direction. It's these guys. Because a couple thousand years ago, they had a plan. You see, while everyone was fighting the Krills in Golden Wasteland, they all scurried together into the Vault of Knowledge. Got together, just kind of huddled in there, looked at each other and said, "All right, what do we do now?" And they just kind of looked at the light. The very thing that brought them their endless joys and stuff, and said, "All right, light, you, how do we get out of the situation?" And the light looked down at them in some booming voice and said, "You idiots, you have brought this upon yourself, and now you're all screwed for eternity." And they looked up at the light and said, "Well, I mean, not for eternity. We can have like a backup plan or something. Can you like give us something to like maybe, I don't know, save the world later on? Maybe like a backup plan for our backup plan." The light looked down at him and said, "Fine. I will give you guys a backup plan. In about 10,000 years. Okay, bye." And thus the Vault of Knowledge was opened, and all of the elders were sworn by... No. That didn't happen. I'm pretty sure the elders just kind of died of old age inside of the Vault of Knowledge. Considering they're called elders. That's just kind of my theory. Here's the thing. So all these elders, yeah. They, let me draw this. Yeah. So this is the Vault of Knowledge right here. Right? Vault of Knowledge. All these guys, big thing, they all went into here. To hide, like cowards. And they all died of old age in there, like cowards. But the light did listen to them. And they gave them a backup plan. What was that backup plan? What was that sick, awesome backup plan they had? I'll tell you what that backup plan was. It was us. The backup plan was us. Why was the backup plan us? Because here was the Lights plan. Well, this is more of the Elders plan, to be honest. They send a sky child, aka a light soldier, down from the sky every like 10,000 years. It goes up to follow a merry journey, gets stronger by collecting light along the way, that was probably left behind from the war. Slowly gets stronger, goes to the Krill's home base, and because of the being literally made out of light, there is no possible way that it could ever die because it's just fueling itself. So we're all good, right? It goes up to the Krill's home base, gets the light, saves the world. Sounds like a pretty good plan, right? I mean, what could possibly go wrong? We've seen these situations in video games. A hero awakes from a long slumber or something, wakes up, defeats a bad guy by going to their home base by getting stronger, and wins. We've always seen that in adventure games like this. So it works here, right? We win in the end, right? That we win. Yeah, well, spoilers, tough tittles, pal. In the end of everything, it doesn't matter. All of this doesn't matter. Because their plan fails. Because they did the big oops, they made a big oopsie doopsie and only sent one light guy. They only sent one per like 1,000 years. So when this one light soldier walked up to Eden to stop the Krills, guess what happened? Yeah, I already predicted what happened too. He fucking died. We've all been to Eden. We've all seen what happens. We just die. And you're probably looking at me like, why are you telling me this? We already know about Eden. Well, thank you for the backstory of how Eden works, but like, now what? Well, I don't really. You see, this is like all pre stuff, right? This is pre-campaign stuff, and then it goes into it goes into current campaign, and it tells us our story and stuff. What about post-campaign? No one's ever thought about that, right? What happens after we die in Eden? Well, I'll tell you what happens after we die in Eden. We reincarnate. But when we do reincarnate, what do we find? We find millions upon millions of light soldiers that have also fallen from the sky and have also been told about the amazing story of the great elders that have sent us to defeat the Krills and how we have to stop them. And they have fallen at Eden, and now they have to just sit around and do nothing. So what does this mean? Isn't it obvious? The Elders' plan was never to defeat the Krills. Their plan was to repopulate the world, which is what they did with us. Sure, I mean, they made an attempt to defeat the Krills. Maybe one day a light soldier will fall from the sky with a Glock 19 and just shoot the Krills dead, and that'll be the end of it. But you know what? No. I say the true ending of Sky is this. All of us just doing this. The true ending of Sky, Children of the Light, is just us. Because if you really think about it, we don't really need to save the world anymore. Because there's so many of us, we've already repopulated it. And the crows aren't really a bad problem, considering there's only like a couple left. And they're all basically just in the Eye of Eden, you know, where all the bad stuff is. And literally every single light soldier that's ever gone there has just turned to stone, so there's no way we could ever save the light. But we've already did. Because we're the light. We are the light. And that's the end. We are the ending of Sky. And that's the Sky timeline. Honestly, I think it's a pretty good ending. It's a way better ending than just you die in Eden and that's it. Sure, there's nice music and beautiful scenery, but in the end of it, you just die. Look at this. We have successfully saved the world by making it better. Way better than whatever the frick these elders were thinking. Like, seriously, what were the elders thinking the world was going to do? The elders were like, yes, perfect plan. We are going to send down a couple light children, literal babies, to do the world. The heroine. Bro, they were dumb. The elders, stupid. Dumbest people on the planet. I'm telling you. These guys were not that smart. You see all these spirits do all these cool things. Accomplish such great stuff. I've never seen an elder mission. I've never seen one elder mission. So I know jack diddly about them. So why should I care about these guys? I don't even know nothing about them. No one knows. No one knows nothing. Well, that's my Sky timeline. If you want to stay around and ask me questions about previous stuff, I can relate it back to this and completely change your way you think about Sky. I know there's a few people watching this stream, so I just sit here and wait for your questions and enjoy my plate of cookies. It's pretty good. Want one? Yeah. Take one. No? Alright. Yeah, it is a nice ending. It is a nice ending. It's a way better ending than what these... What were the 6 elders planning to do? Do you have any idea about why the Sky Kid was revived? Because I don't think the elders really believed in it. I think the elders were like, we are sending a literal child out there to defeat a gigantic black monster that kills anything on sight. That's literally called a kill with an R. Maybe when it dies, we just revive it. Or maybe, in contrary, when you get reincarnate, well, it is called a reincarnation, right? You aren't exactly reincarnating into yourself. You're reincarnating into another Sky Kid. I don't know. Just like a theory. I don't know. Maybe like when you reincarnate, your like soul splits into another Sky Kid, and that's why another one pops up at the Isle of Dawn. Because every time a Sky Kid dies, another one pops up in the sky. I don't know, just me dishing out some things I know. Because, seriously, like, if the light did disappear, where the frick frack are all these Sky Kids coming from? Because if the Krills took all the light, if there's no more stars in the sky, where are they coming from? It makes no sense. Unless they're coming from Eden somehow. I don't know. You want one? I got like a couple left, so here, take one. No? Alright. Oh. I've been playing the game for like, what is it? It's 2022, so 6 years? 5.5? Yeah, I've been playing this game for like 5.5 years, and, man. Seriously, what is this? It's a wild ride, that's what that is. But I can tell you a lot of stuff. Things from other seasons of The Little Prince. Yeah, everything that season doesn't matter. You wanna know why? Because it's all based off a book. Everything in season of Little Prince is based off a book. So, just completely ignore that season. None of it matters. Not a single thing matters. It's all based off just a book. You can look it up. The book is actually really good. Not that I've read it or anything. Just saying you should read it if you have it in your spare time. I'm gonna go until it's like 45 minutes in, and then I will cut the stream. Until then, continue asking your questions. I will, if I think of anything, I'll put it on the whiteboard. Just enjoying my time as I bask in my amazingness to create a perfect timeline like this in my glory. Did these guys really not think of their actions? Like, they were given this light from the sky, and they were like, yeah, seems legit, and just harvested the shit out of it. Like, seriously. Did they ever think it was gonna run out and make this? Maybe it did eventually run out. Maybe that's why there's so many Krills everywhere. Who knows? Why would they add a season that basically meant nothing to the lore? Wouldn't Little Prince have some significance somehow? You see, I have read the book. Alright, I have read the book. I will admit, I have read the book. And, comparing it to the season, there are some parallels, but not that many, as far as I'm concerned. I'll have to, like, dig up the book from my attic to, you know, actually, you know, compare the two again. But, I'm pretty sure if you, like, go back into the season and, like, look at the good stuff in there. I'm sure you could like find something, but as far as I'm concerned, look, as I've said before, I've already gone into the past seasons and looked at all the cave drawings, all the spirits, all the stuff. I've gathered all this information into like some notes and stuff. Which I will not show you because it is actually no. I will show you to show you that it is so complicated that your feeble little minds won't be able to understand. See? So, you can go back and look at it, but as far as I'm concerned, I could not find anything from Season of the Little Prince that has anything to do with the lore. You could check, but I guess it just has like its own story, I guess. Fair enough, I don't know much about Sky lore, so I trust your word. My friend, if you want to play Sky yourself, go right ahead. It's on Nintendo Switch and any device ever. It's free. This entire ass game is free. This beautiful ass game is free. Go download this shit. I'm not even kidding. Who cares about the lore? You could just skip all of this shit and just play this game for fun. It is the best time on the planet. The people that play this game are some of the nicest people I've ever met. Go. If you're not playing this game, then, bro, what are you even doing in your free time? Sea of Thieves? Valorant? Any other multiplayer games? You've never played Sky. You can play all the multiplayer games in the world, but you've never played a game like Sky. Let me tell you that. You've never played a game like this. Let me tell you that. You've never played a game like this. I play Sky. I don't know about the lore. I play... okay. Alright. I'm gonna run it down for you again. I'll do the lore for you again if you want. You know, like a quick overview for people that just came here. I'll do a quick rundown. Yo, I'm sad I just landed. I wish I was there from the beginning. Sorry, mate. Dude, you missed out. Like, this timeline is so much more fresher than the beginning one. But don't worry, I'll give a rundown of everything. I will just review everything so y'all get caught up. Alright. So here we go. Check this shit out. A long time ago, like thousands upon thousands of years ago, there was a planet that was completely void of light. There was no sun, nothing. How did all the people on this planet survive? I have no idea, but they somehow did, until one day, a beacon of light appeared in the sky, which I'm guessing is the sun, but who knows, it could have been something else. This beacon of light sended down light from the sky and onto the ground as physical, holdable chunks of light. Now, these people saw this source of light and said, hey, this stuff is actually pretty good. We gotta do something with it. So, they instantly got down with the resources and started building shit with it. They made houses with light. They made carpets. They made clothes. They made masks for some reason with light. Actually, I'm pretty sure they made masks because these people didn't really seem to have faces. They just kind of seem to have like a shed of skin where their face used to be. Anyway, so with this light, they made three very cool... Well, they made a lot of other things, but three important things. They made jars that could contain light. They made lanterns so they could bring light around. I guess they could just carry the jars, but To be honest with you, those things were freaking heavy. And they made moving vehicles with light. How did they do that? Magic, I guess. But one of the very, very important thing, out of all these things they made, the most important thing they made was a set of wings that allowed you to fly using light. Some of these people, they did use it. They used it to fly, and some people didn't. Some of them just weared it like a cloak. But here's the thing about this. These sets of wings took a lot of light to power. So, yeah, you would imagine how much light they were taking from straight from the source in order to power their sets of wings. And after a course of some decades, the light started draining from the sky, and bits of blackness started forming, until out of that darkness was created a monster that saw itself being created and said, heck no, I don't want to be created. This monster was called the Krill. And the Krill, oh lordy, he hated its creators. He didn't want to exist, and he wanted to crush his creators for creating it. And that makes any sense whatsoever. So the Krill attacked. I should actually draw this for fun. The Krill, with its big beams of light, attacked the people. Now, the people saw this happening and said, oh lordy, we ain't ready for this. So they took 6 people from the 6 realms of their sky realm, which I'm guessing what this place is called. 6 tall folk, 1 tall old person, 1 tall fat guy, 1 tall blacksmith, a conjoined twin, some big strong dude, and the same tall elder but with a staff. And they called them the Elders. Why did they call them the Elders? I don't know, they were old. Anyway, they appointed these elders to raise an army to destroy the Krills once and for all. And, they kind of did a whack job of that. Yes, they did create an army to help defend against the Krills, but they also appointed some people to create a thing called the Vault of Knowledge, which they advertised it as a place where they could store all those people's knowledge. Where they could preserve their people's history in case they accidentally did fail. In reality, this was actually just a safe house for the elders to stay, so they'll be protected against the Krills attacking. Those bastards. Because they stayed in the Vault of Knowledge for a very, very long time and didn't come out for years upon years, until they were old and frail, until they realized that, wait a minute, we've successfully screwed ourselves, because now we are stuck inside of here, and if we go outside, we're just going to be blasted in the face by a Krill. So they looked up into the sky, they looked up at the light and said, hey light, hey pal, sorry for harvesting you for like thousands of years, you got a backup plan for us? The light looked at him and looked down at them and said, why in the frick frack should I help you? Yes, you did use me for good, but now you have successfully screwed yourselves, and now you're all going to die in your own failures. And they looked up at the light and said, yeah, that is kind of true, but we want to preserve our history, and you do admit that you are eventually going to die too, so do you have a backup plan for our backup plan? And the light looked down at them and said, fine, I will create a backup plan for your backup plan. In about 10,000 years. What? So, the light did create a backup plan. Sort of. They created us, the main protagonists. Yes, many protagonists, to come down from the sky, to descend down as a star child, to go in a straight line, march up directly to the Krill's base, burst down their door, flip them the bird, and say, give me back our light. Yeah, that plan completely failed, didn't it? Because yes, they did send millions upon millions of star children to help do the crows, like an army. But you have to remember, these are children, not soldiers. You didn't even give them a weapon. You just gave them some wings. That's it. So when they got to Eden, when they got to the crow's home base, they didn't really have anything. So they just knew they had to go forward to get to the light. And, well, they all died. And that's where the game devs of Sky meant to end the game. That's where good old that game company said, "Hey, thanks for playing the game. Congratulations on dying." No, I'm not letting that game end that. This game should have a happy ending. Because yes, you do get reincarnated in the game, and yes, you do come back, but you always come back to Eden with that sense of dread that once you pass by that third door, you are dying and losing all your progress. So I'm going to give this a happy ending. So here's my completed Sky timeline with a completed ending. With thousands of Sky children now raining from the sky, they descend down and all find themselves staring at each other, realizing that no matter how many times they try, no matter how many times they reincarnate, they will always perish to the hands of the Krills. So they stop. All of them. They all just sit down and stop. Sure, some of them still go to Eden to become stronger, of course, but some of them just stop. Some of them make friends. Some of them make communities. Some of them make art and music. They make friendship circles and villages. They create things and make things and do stuff. Like a society. They successfully repopulate the world with what they already have. They saved the world. And it's a way better world. Whatever the frick frack these guys are thinking of. Because these light hoggers would never understand what it's like to have a family. That's my completed Sky timeline for the second time. If I made it sound very dramatic, you're welcome. I'm very good at storytelling, if you couldn't tell. Why is that not a happy ending? Okay, let's see. Why death cannot be seen as just another path. We'll come back, yes, but to experience the game in a new way every time. It's infinite. It has no beginning and no end. Am I too serious? No. In fact, you're on the right track, my friend. You can accept Sky's ending as death. You can accept that reincarnation of a path as an ending. You can. But a lot of people when they go to Eden, a lot of people when they lose all of their light, they see that cluster, the thing that they've been trying to get to this entire time in the distance, this gigantic diamond of light in the distance, they never reach it. People have tried to reach it in the past. People have gone all the way there, and they have not died. So yeah, you can go right ahead and accept that Eden's death is the ending of the game, but what I'm saying is some people don't find that as a very satisfying ending. Because it's not really an ending, is it? You go to Eden, you die, repeat. Die, repeat, die, repeat, die, repeat. People don't want the repeat. They want it to just end. And that's what this ending is. My ending is an actual ending. Because if you look around in Sky, if you look at all the friends you've made, if you look around at all the players walking around, interacting with each other, you can see that my ending is actually right. It's true. Your ending is right, and my ending is right. There you go. I hope that supplied you with a decent answer. And you're welcome for repeating it. You're really good, by the way. All truths are true. I also know basically everything about Sky. I've been playing this game for like 5.5 years. Since the game has basically come out. So, if you have any other questions, I'm your guy. And I basically know everything. All facts and junk. I'm all knowing and stuff. It doesn't make me wise. Don't think of me as a wise person. Never take advice from me. I am the most terrible person to take advice from. Nothing comes to mind. I've started just over a year ago. Oh, interesting. Have you enjoyed your Sky experience? Have you ever thought about the lore at all? Well, that's perfectly fine, dude. You don't even need to answer. You don't need to think about the lore to play the game. You can just enjoy it as it is. I'm a blank for tips and stuff, so I've often goes to YouTubers and Discord. Just piece it together yourself. This entire time, I've just pieced it together myself throughout all these years. And I'm doing pretty good. And if I want to ask for advice, I just ask one of my friends in game. So do one of that. I don't know. The best kind of people I could find is the friends I've made along the way. Ironically. So I don't know. Just chilling, Played it every day since. Come from Journey. I think about the lore every day, really. Well, it's freaking complicated. The best, if you want to like do lore and stuff, I suggest you look a lot at the cave paintings. Any QR codes I could you want? Sorry, mate. I don't do QR codes. Like at all. I know how they work. You have like the link and stuff, and you shove it into the game. But yeah, I don't have a QR code. Just see you out there eventually. You know about the hero's journey? Yeah, I do. Whatever. I know other games and stuff like that. Wait, you came from Journey? Hey, I only played that game once, and I was instantly hooked. And I was like, "Yo, do you got a sequel of this?" And they didn't. And then they did, like a couple years later, and it was nuts. You think about the lore every day. If you want to start like thinking about lore and stuff, I suggest go to what's it called? Check out like the seasons and stuff, like Season of Abyss or Season of Dreams. No, the Village of Dreams. Yeah, Sky is Dirty too. Yeah, Structure. Yeah, kind of. If you want to like look for lore, look a lot at like the paintings on walls because yes, they are very artistic, but they actually show some lore on there. That's kind of where I got all this from. That's actually where I got the elders camping out in the vault of knowledge. It was on a freaking painting. So yeah, you can gather a lot of stuff from this. No cap. Also, spirits. You can learn a lot of stuff from spirits. Like, the things that you collect to, finish like a daily task or whatever. If you actually pay attention to their story, you can find some kind of interesting stuff. Like, yeah, they have their own story, but some of them actually make the cave paintings. So, you could just look at that. Just to, like a little tip. Actually, that was that was like a medium set. That was like a yay big tip. Like this big, I guess. My big question is, do they think about the big picture of the lore? You have everything you have everything like any movie trilogy. Then you have a spin-off with the seasons. The seasons expand on the main lore. Basically have like their own little story kind of going around. But if you like kind of explore the environment the seasons take place, you can kind of see, that seems a little out of place. Like in Season of Flight, we have these people that like live in the clouds, and they just kind of seem like navigators. Like there's a navigator, there's like a boat builder, there's a couple people there's a bell maker. It just kind of seemed like people that live in the clouds. But then there's the wind paths, a gigantic cloud cave that can teleport you anywhere in the sky. Isn't that a little strange? There is a world, there's a place in the sky that can bring you anywhere. That seems pretty important. I'm not saying anything. I'm just tickling your lore fancy. Tickling the balls. What about Season of Abyss? We have scavengers, basically pirates that go around from sea place to sea place gathering stuff. And then, they're just going around, go find some islands. All right, let's go scavenge for some stuff. But they don't really care about the ruins there. But you do. Oh, you 100% care about the ruins. So you go and try to find out what's in those ruins. And there you go. See? Seasons, they do include stuff for the main lore. They just kind of build off of it. Like different designs for the krill and stuff like that. Stuff, cool stuff. A lot of different things happen. You'll see. You'll see. Well, maybe you've already seen, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm trying to say. Oh, and here's a funny, goofy thing. Ready for this? I know you're probably typing another response, so just kind of pay attention to this one. The makers of Sky had an original story. Before this timeline was made, they had a story where the lore of Sky wasn't actually going to be literal. The entirety of Sky was supposed to be a metaphor for life. Isn't that dumb? That is the most dumbest thing on the planet. You build up all of this stuff for all these cool things and stuff. You make all these cave paintings, and at the end of it, they're just going to reveal it's a metaphor for life. You've got the Isle of Dawn, which is birth. We have the Daylight Prairie, which is kind of like childhood. We have the Hidden Forest, which is kind of like getting into teenage years. We have Valley of Triumph, where you're getting into it and having fun. We have Golden Wasteland, which is kind of the crippling adult years. And then the Eye of Eden is where you get old and die. That is the dumbest thing on the planet. I like this better. I like where you take everything literally and make it all literal. No metaphors. Get them out of here. Metaphors suck. This backpack represents metaphors. Get out of here. You don't see anything. So is the season... let's see here. So the season are like comics to a movie. Yeah, basically. They're basically like a book series getting a movie. The movie is Sky. And after the movie comes out, they're like, man, the movie's pretty good, but a lot of people like the books. So let's make more books. And then they make more books. Actually, the Sky timeline is like the Harry Potter series, where it all started out as books, and everyone really liked the books. And everyone's like, let's make movies about the books. And they made movies. And then they made more books. And then they had to make more movies. And it just kept going on and on and on. So every time a book, which is a season, comes out, they have to add on to the timeline, which is the movie. So there you go. And I don't know if that's a good metaphor, but whatever. You're throwing all great stories to the trash when you say this. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. All of those are really good stories, and they do add on to the lore, kind of. With the wind paths, you kind of wonder, like all these flying boats and stuff, they kind of move kind of slow. You have to admit, they move really, really slow. How are they supposed to get from yay to nay? Wind paths. That's how they got around. The Sky people would take the wind paths to get to places faster. I don't know. The season of Abyss. It wasn't all just people in the sky. It wasn't all just about the sky. There were pirates. There are people on the ground. There were people on the ground. There were people on the ground. There's a ground? If you really think about it, if you really think about it, as we're going up, as we go through the Isle of Dawn, we go up into the Daylight Prairie, and then we go up more into the Hidden Forest, and then we go up more into the Valley of Triumph, go down a little bit to the Golden Wasteland, and then we go up again to the... Is the entirety of Sky Children of the Light basis on a mountain? Are we on a mountain? One gigantic hill? Because if you really think about it, we go through the Isle of Dawn and we go up, right, into Daylight Prairie. We go to Daylight Prairie and we go up again into the Hidden Forest. And we get to the Hidden Forest and we go up again into the Valley of Triumph. We go down a little bit into Golden Wasteland, and we just, go up again into the Eye of Eden. We're just ascending up a mountain. And that would mean that there's an entire world at the base of the mountain that we don't know about. And the small glimpse that we got of it is through some scavengers looking for light. Okay, small theory. Some of them didn't get light, right? The world ended, and the Krills took over, and some of them were still at the basis of the mountain, nowhere near the battlefield, just vibing. Because it's kind of obvious that not every single light person went into the war to fight the Krills. Some of them were just average ass citizens, so they were just vibing. So while everyone was waiting for the Krills to come, they decided to descend down the mountain. Some decided to stay up to just, accept death, but some decided to race down the mountain because they didn't want to die. And when they got down there, they realized that they were safe, but there was nowhere to go. Just a gigantic ocean of water surrounding the basis of the mountain. So they used their boats, they're now lightless boats, to sail, because that's what they were made for in the first place. Dingus, they're boats, obviously. And that's probably where those scavengers came from, because in Season of Abyss, that's what they were looking for, right? They were looking for those little light capsules, those little diamonds that probably had light in them. I don't know. Oh, so I'm gonna kick my wall. Alright. Okay. So my question is, if some of them survived the Krill War, how recently did the spirits of Abyss die? Not everything has to be solved, honestly. I got this. Whatever happens in the future, I'm sure we'll figure it out or something. I'm gonna go off. Thank you for the discussion. It's very entertaining. All right, take care. Hold a sec. And it's 1 hour off of my time. I'm gonna stream for like 2 more minutes, and then I will be off as well. Man, that was something. This was something. That was also something. That was also something. A whole lot of something. For the last 2 minutes, I'm also gonna eat this cookie. This good cookie. Good chip. I guess you can say good chip. I'll kill myself. It's alright. I'll go die of embarrassment. It's okay. Well, that was fun. Did you have a good time? If you had a good time, try follow me, because I'm going to be doing more Sky streams like this. When a new thing of season of performance comes out, I'm going to stream again. I'm going to come back here. I'm not going to be talking about the lore, but I'm going to be doing a season of performance. I'm probably going to be over there doing my own thing. Maybe hanging out with friends. You guys can see my friends. We do stuff. It'll be awesome. I can hang out with everyone. I stream around 4 o'clock Central Time. If you aren't around at that time, I'm so sorry. I don't know any other times besides that. I know one of the times are 2 hours before that. So if you're late to the stream, if you're early to the stream, how would you be early? If you're late to the stream, tough tittles, you missed it somehow. But if you did miss it, I have a VODs channel that has all of my streams. It's literally just called the Cake Zombie Plus VODs. It's hard to miss. The Cake Zombie Plus VODs. It has a weird thumbnail that looks like a black octopus with an orange eye. Not that hard to miss. This has been the Cake Zombie Plus. See all your folks in the next video. By the way, it's going to be either the season of performance or me reacting to the Walton files. Peace.